Hi, I'm John Barney, and really glad to be showing work here at the South Broadway Cultural Center. Thanks, Augustine Romero, and to all the rest of the cultural services gang at the city and here at the community center. Anyway, we just had, I think it was Carlos Contreras and I were having a conversation, I'm gonna say about a year ago, maybe a year and a half ago, like that there are different ways we work with words and art as text, and it would be really cool to do a show around that. So that's what this show is the kind of fruition of all that. It was I with Augustina and the curator of the show, and we have 5 very different responses to words and text, from actually no words, but the piece itself is a text, to Juliana's pieces, which have a lot of words in them and are, kind of reusing the text as art itself. So, and of course, Carlos works a lot with text, and his text at this point in many of these pieces is very, very abstract.
These drawings are actually from some sketches I did a while back that I was just thinking about the future, futuristic type people, what would life be like in other galaxies? And then I began thinking about particle physics, things like that. So I was doing these small sketches and then decided to bring in collage, line, ink, mixed media, which I really love working in. I've been doing small pieces like that in my sketchbook on a regular basis, so I decided to go larger. So the papers that I'm using in the collage pieces are actually from 1938 vintage papers from England, from a sample book. And I like the idea of having these really old papers in these futuristic type ideas and paintings. So they're like 80 some years old. So to transport in my mind, from the sketches into the paintings was something really, exciting for me to do.
John Barney had included artists who use words or text in their work. And that's something I've been doing since 1987. And so with the opportunity of the show and my idea of the pieces, I wanted to take that lettering for myself to a whole new level. So when I was making these, paintings of, Calamity Jane as a Black woman, larger than life, and True Grit here, larger than life, like I needed the work and the pieces to really develop and support that. So, just trying to figure out and learn how I was gonna do all this lettering, through the computer, through fonts, through printing and tracing. A lot of this lettering I just made up myself by studying 1880s, 1890s old posters, where I added, some of these little things, and you can see like the details so tiny. It took forever. Both paintings just really took a long time, but it was an amazing experience to come out to my studio every day to face these two guys. Like I would just come out there like, wow, like that's them. These are heroic characters, not just in the paintings, but in real life. And that's why I chose Zenobia Cronkite for Calamity Jane and Stephen Woodbury as John Wayne and as Rooster Cogburn in True Grit.
So this piece is called, as the second line piece, Anicha, and it's really about how everything is being fragmented and changing. And clearly in that space, we just talked about that's happening. But this was actually a result of a relationship between my work and this piece in particular and Bruce's work, which is down the way here. And just kind of the interactions of light, and then just the way I continued to work that, it just started to break apart even further. It just opened up. So it's been a really helpful piece of my own process. But again, text became part of yet another poem, and then the rest of that was found in this piece here. And this starts to be, I don't know, this piece almost doesn't feel completely finished to me at this point. The giant bok choy appear in it, and along with the minnows that are in all three pieces. The minnow is a survivor figure for me, and my own, kind of like my personal chop. But here, something else is happening. It's sort of, I think, a vision for what can happen there, and therefore what can happen in this place. You know, a very green, verdant something is emerging. Growth is happening. So we have the low line evolving from what it has been into something else.
I'm Bruce Davis. I have worked in the Word show at South Broadway Cultural Center. It is perhaps a little different from some of the text pieces in that my interest is in the loss of word, or in word that has lost meaning. The large piece is something that came to me from my interest in abandoned billboards, these magnificent big frameworks out in the middle of nowhere, Midwest, Western America, that somehow still shout out, we were here. Maybe no longer present. Joe's Cafe or Mary's gas station is no longer present, but somehow the frame is still there, and there's still that claim to existence that ends up very poignant and beautiful somehow.
So my work is coming up in the Word exhibit. There's a piece that's in process. Been a poet for many years, more than half my life. Transitioned to the canvas, and so everything has a message, whether you can read it or not, see it or not. These days, my abstract pieces of work say something in the layers of the work itself. So enjoy my work for Word.